Hello, welcome to my monotype stencil demonstration. I'm Hannah Brooks. These are my hands, and let's get started. So our base for my demonstration, I did a little feather roll action down here and a tri-colored palette. Some yellow, blue, and green with a bunch of transparent base added, so it'll be hopefully very transparent. And I already did a little reductive work with my Q-tip before us starting to add a little different dimension. Okay, so first thing first is normal stencils. So I have a bunch of pre-cut stencils hanging out right here. A little hard to see, but I made all of these on Duralar. I cut them out ahead of time, and I can keep reusing them and reusing them for different monoprints, which is very exciting. So you can keep using the same iconography over and over again. So let's pick this one. And you can just kind of plop it down. Gently tap, tap. Okay, great. It's down. Let's throw down this one. It's like a bigger blocking out situation. Great. A different kind of stencil is a blockout stencil. And the reason why you'd want to use a blockout stencil is to add more information later on. For example, if I was going to be printing a watercolor stencil like this one, but I wanted to print it later on, I would use a stencil the exact same shape as this shape to save space. So you'd want to make two. So see how they're the exact same shape? But since today we're only printing one layer, we can just place our watercolor stencil directly onto our ink. The great thing about watercolor stencils is that you can do them way ahead of time. I made these weeks in advance. And now I have to use them today. Whatever shape that you cut out your watercolor stencil, it will become a different stencil on your ghost print. See how that is not exactly close? It will make the wider shape in my ghost print, which I'll show you guys later. Okay, we're gonna put this guy, I think, right here. Do I throw on another one? I think we should throw on another one. Let's throw on, okay, what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this shape and we're gonna ink it up with, let's say, blue. Beautiful blue, and we're going to put it face down onto our little ink up situation. The thing I place my stencils, I just kind of go at it as I'm like trying to find a place. I just do it kind of off the top of my head. I think it'll look interesting right there. Great. Okay. I'm going to get some paper and then we will continue. Okay, I have our paper. And let's start setting it down. When printing watercolor stencils, you want to make sure that your paper is sitting there in your bath for like hours, sometimes even overnight. This paper is pre-soaked and I did it for about 4 hours. Also, always use scrap pieces of paper for demos. This is an old etching of mine. We're just gonna print on top of that. Okay, paper is placed. If you want to tape it down, if you feel like it's not secure, now would be the time to do it. Take some blue tape. Make sure to tape it down to a stable surface. I'm gonna tape it down to the table instead of the newsprint. Actually, let's tape it down to a plexi place. There's not ink right there. Amazing. Okay, now grab your wax paper and place on top, like so. What I like to do is I actually like to grab my rolling pin and just kind of get a base layer on these prints. The rolling pin does not give a lot of detail, so you want to use something else on top of this. But I think it's good just for adhering your paper to the ink itself. I want to get another piece of wax paper on that bottom so I can get it all the way off the paper. Move that up here. Okay, then we're gonna take, I have a plastic Baron, nothing fancy. Got it at Blick. Super accessible and just kind of buff into circles. I like to start in the center and then moving my way out. Okay, I'm gonna print this and I'm gonna let you guys see the finished product. Okay, so I probably use the Baron on this just for like a couple minutes, going around and peel off the wax paper. Make sure don't get ink anywhere. The best part about these little pieces of tape is that you can kind of do a little peekaboo underneath to see if your print's actually printing the ink, which is great. Okay, off the tape. And clear in areas, we can flip our prints out. Okay. Okay, that is one. These are the reductive from earlier, and these are the stencils I used. Okay, now see how our watercolor stencil worked out. See, they appeared actually very vibrant. I'm very impressed with this. It's my first time spoon printing. Unfortunately, I don't know what happened to this. I do know what happened. I had a brain fart. I flipped it upside down. So this actually created another stencil. So what's going to happen is when we print the ghost real quick, you'll see this blue will now be on this image. So typically when printing a ghost, Akui ink will ask you to put the, I believe it's the Remedy. It's clear and it allows the ink to kind of come up. I kind of like how it looks when you just peel up all the stencils and then like have this like faded thing happening. So we're gonna peel up all the stencils and make 2 more prints. The best part about mono printing is that you will always have 2 prints no matter what you're doing. See, it's blue right there. And we can take this stencil we placed down and put it somewhere else because there's still ink on it. All of these can be moved. Okay, we'll have a crisscrossing situation happening up here. If you want to you don't have to use all of your stencils. On one piece, you can move them around to a bunch of different pieces. So printmakers, especially monoprint artists, can work on 5, 6. I've worked on at least 10 pieces at the exact same time using the same iconography. Amazing. Okay. Let's put this one right there. Maybe I'll move this one here. Okay, let me get my paper and then we'll print the ghosts. Okay, so I was grabbing my paper and I realized I only had 1 more sheet. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna print on this one so you can see the new material go into these open spaces that we created. So I want a lot of stuff happening here, so but I want to be a different value. So I think I want to go over more ghosted areas. So I think this I'm gonna put like right here maybe. That could be interesting. And we'll take this next guy. Actually, we'll move that right there. this guy is gonna go right here, but I want to get these extra little stencils in. Perfect. Okay, let's get printing. Okay, remove this wax paper. Let's see how we did. We'll do the new one first. How fun. This made a little border because it overlapped with this paper. But this one, a little bit of the watercolor stencil. I don't know how that happened. I think there's probably a little bit left somewhere on the plate. So we got that. We have the stencil, the back of the stencil for our other watercolor. We have this positive stencil happening. Bunch of cool stuff going on. Okay, let's check our other one. Oh. Yeah, see, this one is having a bunch of different dimensionality happening in these open white spaces. Yeah, stenciling can create a huge variety just using only a couple steps. From start to finish, this took me probably about 20 minutes to accomplish. So even with this, you can put on, I think it's the release agent, and put the release agent on, and you can print this entire thing again. As long as there's still viable ink, you can keep printing and printing and printing. So thank you for joining me on this stenciling adventure. It was great having you all. Have a great day. Bye-bye.